Good evening and welcome to SVG-TV News for Monday, January 17th, 2022. I am Rochelle Batiste with the details. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Simone Kaiser-Beach on the radio today said Omicron remains the dominant COVID-19 variant in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and that the available vaccines are not as robust to fend off the highly transmissible variant.
Is that the Omicron is evading, or the vaccines we have currently are not as robust against the Omicron as they have been with other variants. So research coming out of South Africa and the UK suggests that as of now, anybody who has had a vaccine more than the last of their second dose of vaccine was more than 5 months ago should have a booster, because the immunity caused by the vaccine to Omicron decreases significantly.
The CMO added that the Omicron variant has increased steadily, affecting the vaccinated and the unvaccinated, though the vaccinated is more protected than the unvaccinated.
It's still there. You still have immunity. You're still less likely to become seriously ill. You're still less likely to die. But your immunity to symptomatic disease, meaning a fever, sore throat, which are the classic things, headache, sore throat with the Omicron, the capacity for the vaccines to prevent those symptoms is significantly decreased after 5 months. And so you have a lot of persons who were fully vaccinated, say ending July last year, who are now positive for COVID.
The CMO said the COVID-19 task force of the Ministry of Health took the decision to halt temporarily the issuance of approved vaccinated events after cases of Omicron were traced back to some of these events.
We went into December dealing with the Gamma and the Delta, dealing with persons who were significantly protected from severe disease, transmission even, and death. Once they were fully vaccinated, that allowed us to have those, to plan and approve those fully vaccinated events. But we came out of December with Omicron circulating, and so we had to change a lot of our protocols to deal with that.
In relation to the surge in cases after the Christmas holiday season, the CMO said 200 of the positive cases were vaccinated.
We went into December with about 400 persons, fully vaccinated persons, being infected with COVID. And between the 29th of December to the 12th of January, we recorded 254 fully vaccinated persons being infected with COVID. That accounts for 41% of those cases in that period. Now, I just need to clarify something, because I'm talking about PCR tests. So these are persons who had a PCR test and it was sent to our molecular lab and it was tested there. Okay? I'm not referring to the proportion of persons who had rapid antigen tests, whether it's in your clinic or your private facility or even at your home. So I know that would be a completely different figure. But
with effect from Saturday, January 15, 2022, travelers entering SVG who contracted COVID-19 at least 10 days prior to travel can ask for an exemption within a certain period and can use a COVID-19 antigen test. This is according to the Chief Medical Officer, who said a new protocol was put in place in light of the increase in Omicron cases.
About the period of being contagious and the period of a PCR remaining positive, sometimes up to 2-3 months after initial positive. So in the new protocols, if you have been found to be COVID positive and you are now planning to get home, we will allow persons 10 days after that positive PCR test or antigen test to come into St. Vincent. You have to apply for an exemption to come in with evidence of the initial positive test, and it must have been done, evidence of initial positive test, antigen tests done 24 hours before arrival, and that antigen test must be from an approved facility. And you apply for exemption, you email the coronavirus task force svg@gmail.com. You apply for an exemption and you can come home. Because if those persons try to do a PCR within that time, between 10 days and 2 months, they might still have a positive PCR, even though they are no longer truly positive.
There are currently 903 active cases of COVID-19 in the country. 23 patients have been admitted to the COVID-19 ward at the Milton Cater Memorial Hospital, 5 of whom are vaccinated, 1 partially vaccinated, and 17 unvaccinated. 87 persons have died from COVID-19, 2 of whom were vaccinated. In other news now, we hear that a diversified agriculture platform targeting the reduction of the food import bill and increasing exports in selective crops will be undertaken this year. This is according to Minister of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries, Saboto Caesar, in his contribution to the 2022 budget debate. Minister Caesar noted that the food import bill in SVG and in other member states of CARICOM and the OECS is too high, and they will be working along with farmers, producers and marketers to unfold a national buy local campaign.
But it is easy to promote from the ministry side a buy local campaign. I have to encourage local buyers to buy local. Already, we are connecting local producers with entrepreneurs who are moving commodities from farm to our housewives. And we are going to continue to support that so that we can create opportunities not only for farmers, but for entrepreneurs involved in the marketing of produce. And the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations continues to help. And I am asking the farmers of St. Vincent and the Grenadines to embrace the fresh opportunities to grow the zucchinis, the butternut squash, the cantaloupe, the radish, the beet, the kale, the cauliflower and the broccoli. There are some young farmers who have started already, and we are seeing off-takers like Ariston Denny in North Leeward moving throughout the entire country to connect with these young farmers and, importantly, to connect them to the hotels and the hospitality industry.
The Agriculture Minister said in 2022 they will also advance the cause for the establishment of the Windward's Food Production Corridor. He said they will have started to plan it already, and the aim is to have a platform for consolidated marketing for collective crop, insurance and collective transportation.
The reality, Madam Speaker, is that we no longer have Wibdeco and Windfresh. We no longer have Windcrop, and we are not utilizing to the best of our abilities collectively the geese lines. Therefore, our exports transatlantic has significantly reduced. And as Senator Peters mentioned, we have Vinci Fresh, and we are going to continue to work with Vinci Fresh and all other agri-producers so that we can have the consolidated marketing platform between and among the islands to be able to break into many international markets. One of the problems that we face when we find markets internationally that we do not have the volumes to maintain weekly shipments. And we can only have the volumes to maintain weekly shipments if we have a consolidated marketing and production platform.
Caesar noted that Budget 2022 represents the consensus of the people and seeks to elevate the poor and working class. With the absence of the opposition and some government MPs, Budget 2022 was passed in Parliament on Friday, January 14th. Members of the opposition stayed away, citing safety breaches after several government MPs contracted COVID-19. Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, however, challenged the opposition to return to Parliament to debate the budget, noting that it will be passed with or without them.
We will see. Next week he has to come. We say 7 days and he has to come to us. Because they want to go about and beat their chest. And say, you see, NDP rule. Well, stop it now. Stop it tonight. If your name, man, stop it tonight. Come now, come and stop it. Come in and debate it after I'm finished. Come. If I have to take you to 4 in the morning, I take you. This budget is passing, God willing. You know, late son Mitchell had told them, you know, don't mess with Ralph, you know, he's a hard nut to crack. They didn't listen to him.
And the Prime Minister's dubbed Budget 2022 as exceptional, noting that all Vincentians would benefit from the fiscal package. He praised Finance Minister Camilo Gonsalves for a job well done in delivering the 2022 budget before testing positive for COVID-19.
The manufacturers, those in dealing with IT, the cultural artists, the sports men and women, all categories of persons, Madam Speaker, benefiting from this budget. There's a lot of new money there. I want to thank all our partners, and I want to return to thanking very much the Minister of Finance, who has delivered simply an exceptional budget. I regret very much that Senator Bala was not here because of the COVID.
The Prime Minister said the passage of the 2022 budget was of paramount importance and that he did what he had to do, which included revoking the appointment of one of his senators who was COVID-19 positive and filling the post immediately.
I'm very happy that Senator Batiste has come into the middle, as I indicated earlier. If it were necessary for me to revoke the appointment of another senator who had tested positive in order to get this budget passed and to establish the large principle of representative democracy, and to stand askance against those who would wish to obstruct us and obstruct the people's work, I would do so. I thank the Minister of Finance, I thank all my colleagues, I thank all the public servants, I thank the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and I'm sure that they would have seen the way in which we have handled this matter, that this leadership is sound, we have a patience and a calm.
Invest SVG continues to promote St. Vincent and the Grenadines at Dubai Expo 2020, currently on the way. On February 14, 2022, SVG will have its day, which will feature everything about the country. Executive Director of Invest SVG, Annette Mark, said that preparations are being made for the big day, which will showcase SVG to the world. PM Gonsalves is expected to lead a delegation to Dubai for SVG Day.
I'm heading up to Dubai this week, well, at the end of the week, because there are a lot of meetings and a lot of preparation for the visiting delegation that will come up. We will have the Prime Minister, we'll have a VIP delegation with his Prime Minister and his delegation, and then we will also have our entertainers and cultural ambassadors who will be there. So we look forward to a very special day. The National Day is actually a day for St. Vincent. It's when St. Vincent is featured. There's a focus on St. Vincent throughout the entire expo. So on the screens there will be There will, on the large screens, there will be what you call video features on St. Vincent, promotional videos, etc. And then there will be a flag raising ceremony, which ours is in the afternoon, and at 4 o'clock, which will be streamed live. And of course, a couple of speeches. There will be persons from the government that will join that also. And it depends on the level of our contingent. They will reciprocate with the same level.
Making a call for persons to submit videos on SVG to be aired at the Expo on February 14th, Max said that SVG's participation in the Dubai Expo is a great opportunity for the country.
The Dubai Expo is paying for all of this. They are funding this for us. This was part of the assistance package that they gave, besides the pavilion, the housing, the flights back and forth, etc. So they're paying for the flights, accommodation for everybody who's coming to Dubai. So they will. So it will be 16 from our side in respect to the entertainers and stuff, and then it will be there are 5 VIP persons that they will pay for to come in respect to the Prime Minister's delegation. While we're in Dubai on that day, we do plan to have an investment forum. So it will be about 3 hours, and we will make some presentations on opportunities here in St. Vincent, and we will also have a press conference. And of course, while the PM is in Dubai, we will have some follow-up meetings in respect to the investors, the persons who came on behalf of Sheikh Hamad.
Dubai Expo 2020 opened in October and will end in March this year. Max said SVG's participation at the Expo has yielded positive results thus far.
Some of the critics have persons saying that, well, why are we there? So why wouldn't we not be there if we're being assisted like all of the other Caribbean islands? Wouldn't it be more detrimental for us to not be there rather than be there and try and find the opportunities? I mean, yes, we can get investment opportunities by sitting in St. Vincent, but we can possibly get even more by going out there and meeting people and talking and actually promoting our island. This is a great opportunity post-COVID, and all of the islands are actually present in Dubai. So they are all doing what we are doing. Some of them are more known because of the CIP program, but I can't tell you that it's an advantage, because there are investors who want to work with countries that don't have CIP programs. So we are, of course, doing all that we can to reach those people that want to work with St. Vincent.
Japanese Ambassador to CARICOM, His Excellency Tasuo Hirayama, is on a 3-day mission to SVG commencing today, Monday, January 17th to Wednesday, January 19, 2022. The ambassador's delegation includes Cyril Bailey, Head of Program for the World Food Program Caribbean of Multi-Country Office and Regional Coordination Officer of the Caribbean and Chief of Mission of the International Organization for Migration, the IOM, Roberta Natello. Ambassador Hirayama is expected to meet with Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves tomorrow, Tuesday, January 18, 2022, and other government officials throughout his 3-day visit. Also tomorrow, there will be a ceremony at the Louis Ponette home in Orange Hill from 3 p.m. where the Japanese ambassador, UN partners, and a representative from the government of SVG will give brief remarks and kickstart works on the rehabilitation of the Louis Ponette home. The delegation will also visit Sandy Bay, one of the communities recovering from the eruption of La Soufrière volcano. In December 2020, through partnership with the government of Japan, the WFP, and the Ministry of National Mobilization, Social Development, Family, Gender Affairs, Youth, Housing, and Informal Human Settlement, there was the Soufrière Relief Grant Program to include value vouchers, which allow persons to meet food and related needs during the holidays. Depending on family size, 3,000 recipient households receive vouchers valued between $350 to $500, reaching $8,000 19,000 men, women, and children who continue to feel the effects of La Soufrière eruption in April 2021. The United Nations World Food Programme partner with the government of SVG on the national response to the volcanic eruptions since April 2021. WFP also worked with the National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO, the Ministry of National Mobilization, and the Ministry of Education, providing emergency logistics support and technical assistance and resources for cash and voucher assistance to displaced persons from the red and orange zones through the Soufrière Relief Grant. The International Organization for Migration, IOM, the UN Migration, is promoting since 1951 humane and orderly migration for the benefit of all. IOM has presence in over 100 countries. St. Vincent and the Grenadines became member of the IOM in 2012. IOM assesses in 153 member states and partners in the areas of preparedness, disaster risk reduction, prevention, protection, humanitarian response, peace building, as well as protracted displacement and post-crisis transition and recovery activities. In St. Vincent and the Grenadines, through partnership with the government of Japan, NEMO, the Ministry of Education, and the Ministry of Health, IOM is supporting the management of the emergency shelters that are still in use, the repairs of washrooms in 21 schools on the mainland, and retrofitting the Louis Punnett facility in Orange Hill into a welcoming, safe, and eco-friendly home for 40 senior citizens.